Welcome back to episode 15 of, I'm about to say Cinema Discovery Project. Jeez, that was our old show. Oh, this is Chasing. It's been too long, Andrew. It's been 2 weeks.
It has been too long.
Yeah.
It has been a little long. I thought this was episode 14. I'm losing count.
I think it's 14. Wrong? I had to look earlier.
Oh, maybe you're right. You know what? It is 14. Now that I think about it.
You skipped a week.
Yeah, well, it's throwing me off. We've been doing weeklies lately, so we took a week off, and now, I just skipped a week, I guess. But we're back. It's me, Stephen Billings, Andrew Cabral, and if you heard another voice that didn't sound like ours, that's our guest this week. But before we get to him, I just want to say thanks for listening, guys. We've been getting good followers, and please, anybody that's listening out there, give us some ratings. We want to hear from you. Go to Apple Podcasts. Go to things like that. We want to hear from you. We want to hear what you think, seeing what we can do to improve the show. But with that out of the way, we want to introduce our guest here. He's going to explain himself better than I can, but he does a lot of writing. He runs the site Psychotronic. Was it Psychotronic Cinema? And he also writes for a lot of other outlets. Ian Schultz, how you doing, man?
I'm okay. I write for D Movies. It's kind of the main one besides Psychotronic at the moment. I just did an interview with Edgar Wright.
Awesome. Actually,
on Monday. It was published yesterday. I've written for Little White Lies. I do stuff for Live for Film, and I've done wrote for some other sites previously.
Yeah, didn't you tell me you also did some writing in a release for a booklet release?
Yes, I did one of the essays in the release of Dementia for BFI last year.
Awesome. Is that something that is that something where they contacted you and
No, I know the guy who runs the home video department, home video department for BFI.
Yeah.
It got announced, and I was like, hey, I really like this film. Could I possibly write something for it? And he's like, yeah, go ahead.
Awesome.
And if I like it, I'll pay you for it.
Cool. Is that something you still kind of like try to keep pursuing? Any chance you get, or?
Any chance I get. Sadly, there's not that many chances for that, but hopefully in the future, there's some more.
Cool. Well, Any other thing? I know you said you had a couple other things you wanted to bring up. I know you said you had from one of our previous episodes, we had done an episode where we talked about like some films that hadn't gotten any releases, proper like upgraded releases, and you said you had some more releases you wanted to add to that conversation. So
okay,
take it away.
Most of Emilio Costa Rica's films aren't out on Blu-ray. He did the film Underground, which is on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I know most people have been asking me to use for ages. The early Paul Verhoeven films.
Yeah.
I know the issue of that is basically the remastering is very expensive and no one's willing to put money up front yet. A bunch of Robert Bresson films, Devil Probably would be a really great one to have. There's most of Buñuel's Mexican films haven't been restored, and those are some of his best films, actually. There's a great serial killer black comedy called The Criminal Life of Archibaldo de la Cruz, which I highly, highly recommend. Refn's early films like Pusher Trilogy and Bleeder.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I would love that. I've been clamoring for someone to release a Pusher Trilogy box set for years. Anyone at this point. Because those movies are still only relegated in the DVD realm.
I wonder if maybe somebody like Indicator possibly has a connection with that, because he's been working alongside with them, I think, on a couple releases that they've done recently, like
Night Tide.
Night Tide, and
and Spring, whatever it's called.
I know what you're talking about. I have both them releases, and so wonder if maybe they're gonna work together on something with him, maybe eventually. That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be really
cool. Or maybe Arrow might do it.
Yeah.
That's another label that seems like would be good fit for him.
I think he's done something for them before, not any of his films. I know Second Sight's doing Drive.
Oh, really?
They're doing like a big lavish special edition of
that. That's an exclusive here? Where'd you hear that from?
They announced it a while back.
Oh, did they go?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that one, sorry.
It's been rumored that Drive's getting a re-release in 4K.
Okay.
In UHD, because I think they're working on or maybe they already have like a remaster for it. Even though the movie's actually like 10 years old now, isn't it?
9,
Roughly.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been that
I mean,
long.
it's one of the movie. I mean, Second Sight seems to get their hands on a lot more modern stuff that need even if it doesn't really need much of a cleanup, they can maybe add some features and give it a nice box and things like that. So
that movie has gotten a lot of re-releases in terms of different packaging aesthetics over the years.
yeah, a lot of steel books, a lot of
steel books, a lot of different slipcovers, a lot of different artwork. Some cool, some not so much.
Well, there's also the BBC alternative soundtrack fiasco.
Oh,
did you hear
what's
about
that all
that?
about? No,
I didn't know.
It's just DJ's Zane Lowe, like basically just put different songs on soundtrack, and aired it on BBC, and everyone hated it.
Was that like a rights thing? They couldn't get the rights to the original music?
No, it is rescored the entire film.
Wow. That's kind of dangerous. But,
that's bold. Yeah, I didn't know you were allowed to do that.
But so any more films you got on that list?
Yeah, I've got a bunch. A lot of John Sayles films have it been on?
Oh yeah, more John Sayles.
Yeah, that'd be really nice.
I know Secret of Roan Inish is coming to Criterion at some point.
Okay.
Because I interviewed him when that film, the man who killed Bigfoot, Man Who Killed Hitler and the Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Because he produced that, and he told me he told me Mate One was coming out, and that obviously came out.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he said Roan Inish was the next one, so I would assume like City of Hope and Lone Star and Liana and Broken Planet might be Criterion, and he's done stuff for them for years, so I would assume that. Another person like that would be all of the John Waters films that haven't been upgraded.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, finally, please.
Yeah, Andrew's a big fan, yeah.
I've been holding off on buying the DVDs because we're getting a slow trickle of John Waters stuff, and I'm hoping for, Pink Flamingos and Pecker and all this kind of stuff that's just kind of out there. My favorite John Waters film is Cecil B. Demented, and we still have no Blu-ray released anywhere for that. And I'm just hesitant to even buy the DVD because as soon as I buy it, they're going to announce it. It happens to me all the time.
I've had them for years, so I'm just waiting for them. And then and there's obviously some Cronenberg films we'll get to later. And then some sort of single titles, those were the kind of directors, is the Bud Bedecker film 7 Men From Now. Have you guys seen that?
No.
That's the best one. It's obviously Randolph Scott and Lee Marvin's like the bad guy in it. And it's 75 minutes. It's fantastic.
Great runtime, yes.
That's great runtime.
The Lawrence Turney film noir Born to Kill. So I would assume we Warner Archive at some point, directed by Robert Wise. Christiana F. That was this teenage junkie David Bowie fan in the 70s Berlin. Choose Me, the Alan Rudolph film. Coonskin, which I know Vinegar Syndrome has been working on it for years.
Okay.
But it's been like 5 years since I've heard from them about it. So
it's a Dog Soldier situation.
It's definitely the Dog Soldiers. It's a much better film than Dog Soldiers. The Dreamers, the Bertolucci film.
Please.
Yeah, that's a great one. The Gus Van Sant film, Even Cowgirls Get the Blues, but specifically his director's cut, which has never been released, and I've heard is much, much better than the original film. Although the original film is a pretty underrated film in his sort of canon of films. Obviously, any of the Russ Meyer films.
Okay.
But I know the issue of that is the estate wants way too much money for it.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. So that's why no one's done it. The James Toback film, which I just said would not come out on Blu-ray. I wish it would. Fingers.
I don't think we're going to see any of his stuff.
Fingers, which is an amazing film. To kind of tie in with one of the Arrow announcements in a bit, Fassbinder's In a Year of 13 Moons. Canal. Ladies and Gentlemen, The Fabulous Stain has been out of print for like 15 years now. The Last of Sheila, Almodovar's Matador, which is a great one.
That'd be great.
The Maté Affair, which I can buy a poster of, which I have upstairs, but has never had a DVD release, has no Blu-ray release. It was on Criterion Channel for a while, so I watched it again not so long ago. So I assume Criterion may be doing that. The Michael Lehman film Meet the Applegates, his follow-up to Headers. Moa Knight. Nothing Lasts Forever, if you guys know that film.
Mm-mm.
With
No.
who's the guy from Gremlins, the lead?
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
What's that kid's name?
Galligan, or Zach Galligan.
Yeah.
Zach Galligan.
Yes.
And Bill Murray's in it. I think Dan Aykroyd's in it. And it's about this boy who goes to the moon on a bus. And it's this very surreal, sort of romantic fantasy in black and white. Looks like a film from the 1920s. And that's never been released by anybody, but Warner owns it. There's been always talk that they're might do a DVD or a Blu-ray, and it's never happened. It has shown on TCM a couple times, and if you find it, it's normally a TCM rip.
okay.
The Keith Gordon film Moa Knight. Oh Lucky Man, Lindsay Anderson film. Ida Lupino's Outrage was an extraordinary film about this woman who's raped. And it's all sort of told from the point of view of her. It's from 1950. Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, which everyone has been asking for forever.
The Sam Peckinpah film?
Yeah. The Rapture by Michael Tolkien, have you guys seen that?
No.
No.
It's a film about these LA swingers, and she finds God, and that's all I'm going to say about it.
Well, give us a couple more. Give us a couple more. We'll say we could maybe save this for another time to get more of this.
I've got only a couple more.
Okay, cool.
Save the Tiger, the Jack Lemmon film, which he won the Oscar for, which is fantastic. Some Came Running, Star 80, They All Laughed, You Can Count on Me, Z, and then there's 3 TV shows, Erie, Indiana, Matt's Headroom, and I'm still annoyed that The Queen's Gambit's not on Blu-ray yet.
I know you're a big Anya Taylor-Joy fan. I see the posts.
Well, my girlfriend fancies her, so.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
So you have to fancy her too, of course. But I mean, it's...
Oh yeah, of course.
But all right, cool. Well, he gave guys. You just got a lot of great suggestions there. I haven't seen them all, of course, but not even close because some of them I've never even heard of. But now I'm gonna have to look into them. So
I would love to see. Yeah, isn't Z the Costa Gavras film?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Criterion had a DVD of that. I think it's out of print, maybe.
I don't even know if they have the rights anymore because they lost rights to some of his other films. So
it's permanently on the Criterion channel, though.
Okay, so maybe they still have it then. But only on DVD. That'd be a nice Blu-ray upgrade for them because they did 2 of his other films recently.
Confession and State of Siege.
Yes.
Yeah, the Confession and State of Siege. So I don't know why they just didn't do all 3 of them. That would have been nice. Also, before we transition into kind of normal announcements, where does your origin story start when it comes to your love for movies? Is it something you've always had, or is it something that's grown over time? How's it been for you?
Well, it was one of the few things that I kind of liked as a kid. I guess probably I was a big fan of Time Bandits. So my dad dragged me to see The Adventures of Baron Munchausen at the Hollywood Theater in Portland, Oregon. I'm from Portland originally, but I live in Leeds. And that was kind of one of those sort of eureka moments. And it's just a great film, especially when you're like 7. And the thing about that was I did not want to see an old movie. This was like 8 years after it came out or something, maybe 9 years. And so that was one of those sort of early film experiences, and ever since then I've been hooked.
And when it comes to like collecting, is it something that's always also been a part? Like, did you always have VHS tapes when you were younger?
I can explain that. So we moved from the US to the UK 3 weeks before 9/11.
Oh.
So about the most perfect time when anyone could ever move in the US. I've only been back once, and it was not a very pleasant experience. So we decided at that point to not get a TV. But we all had laptops. Well, my parents decided not to get a TV, I should say. We all had those Macs in like 2000, 2001 where they all had, DVD players. So we just bought a lot of DVDs instead of paying for a TV license.
Yeah.
So
man, you had to run how long did the laptop last?
I've had a few since.
Yeah. Because like mine burned out on me after like 5 years.
Oh, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. You were kind of ahead of the game when it comes to watching stuff on some type of mobile device, whether it be a laptop or tablet or anything like that, because that's now what everyone does. Most people, probably younger people, don't even have TVs, and if they do, they're just streaming movies on it. They don't have cable. The whole cutting the cord thing that's been rampant for years now. So if anything, your family was well ahead of the game in that regard.
Yeah, completely. And I think the first DVD my dad got was Fight Club. I think was the first one he bought. But we bought like a box full of DVDs before we left at what was the computer shop back then? There was a big computer shop that had a big DVD section. I remember. And so we bought a bunch of DVDs. And it took us a while to figure out the whole region thing, and then VLC luckily came to kind of save all computers from being set to one region, because Macs are famously not great for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they only let you set the region like
5 times.
5 times, which why?
Yeah, ridiculous.
So annoying.
And then I did a degree in film studies and started writing film reviews around 2012, I would say.
Okay.
And I've done a lot of reviews since.
Awesome.
And a lot of interviews with people.
Yes, I'm gonna have to read that Edgar Wright interview. I clicked on that before the show, and I was like, I gotta read this. So great. Let's do it. Let's get it. You ready to get into announcements?
Yes. We will dive into it. I guess we'll start where we always tend to start, and that's with our friends over at Kino and Kino October Studio Classics line. But we're going to highlight just their 4K adventures these days, because they seem to be really full diving into it. Recently, they did a deal with an acquisition deal acquiring, I think it was 30-something films from MGM or something like that. And I think some of these are from that deal, and you can kind of tell. So the first one here is The Silence of the Lambs is getting yet again another re-release. If you have been chronicling the release history of this film, it just got a Criterion release 3 years ago, a much needed one, and now we're getting a 4K release. Once again, a Criterion release is getting undercut by a 4K edition. This is going to be a 2-disc set and loaded with special features. You're kind of going to have to compare, back and forth to see which features are missing from which edition. So hopefully it has a great transfer, I'm assuming. And this is going to go along right with, I think their first 4K release was Hannibal, the sequel to Silence of the Lambs. Yeah. So that's going to be something interesting to look forward to. Next up is future releases that they're coming out with in 2022. They just put out The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly in the UHD 4K format. Now, of course, you need the first 2 films in the Dollars trilogy, or the Man for No Name trilogy.
Which I just bought.
Man with No Name.
I just bought those on eBay, actually, the Kino releases.
Oh, nice.
I don't do the 4K Ultra stuff.
Well, I'll say this. Kino is re-released. These movies, I think, have been re-released so many times over the last few years. Yeah. It's kind of bonkers. But they're once again getting new 4K releases coming out in 2022, and that is A Fistful of Dollars and For a Few Dollars More. For some reason, with these 3 movies, there's always so much talk or discussion or controversy about the way they look on Blu-ray. There's different color timings for each of these releases, whether it be Blu-ray or now these 4Ks that are probably going to come out. So many debates. And I don't even know which ones are the quote-unquote correct versions of these movies aesthetically now. I'm just hoping that these are going to look good.
Yeah, I was going to say, anybody alive that could tell us?
Yes, Sergio Leone is not not around anymore. I don't know if the cinematographer's around.
We'll
Morricone just passed away.
We'll Clint out and ask him.
Yeah, yeah, I guess
Yeah,
so.
I
He's
don't know.
doing
His eyes haven't been great for his own movies lately, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but I do love these movies. I think they're probably the best of the spaghetti westerns. Sergio Leone, you can kind of do no wrong, I think. But moving on from Sergio Leone,
well, my favorite Leone is Fistful of Dynamite.
Yeah.
Or Duck
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Or Duck Used Sucker.
Or
my
Once
favorite,
Upon a Time of Revolution is another title for it.
Yeah, I love Once Upon a Time in the West. I think is my favorite of his. I haven't seen Once Upon a Time in America yet because the runtime is always so daunting for me. And
let's do it as a mini-series, man.
Yeah, probably do it in spurts.
Set a watch and just every hour,
or maybe
take
just
a break.
Yeah, I guess that's the way to go. But moving on to the next release, they are going to be releasing a 4K UHD edition of William Friedkin's To Live and Die in L.A. And I hate myself for not having seen this film yet because I do really like William Friedkin. And it's right in that 70s into the 80s corridor, which I think was probably his best work in his career. And we covered a lot of Friedkin when we did our episode on Cinema Discovery Project about the American new wave of cinema in the 70s and how prominent he was and how important he was and whatnot. But yeah, this film, of course, stars a young Willem Dafoe from 1985. John Turturro's in the film. William Peterson's in the film.
Yeah, it's like Peterson's first film, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think, wasn't William Peterson in Manhunter, yes.
This is pre-Manhunter. This is what got him Manhunter.
Yes. So this is right around that time.
Yeah, I got the I have the Shout Select release of this on Blu-ray. So
To Live and Die in LA.
Yeah,
I have the Arrow one that's been out for a while.
Yeah. So I like the movie. I don't know that I need to. It already looks pretty. Thing is we have this debate, and this goes back to the Silence of the Lambs. I don't know that there needs to be much more of an upgrade on these. I mean, for instance, I don't even know if Jonathan Demme, was there for the restoration of this 4K. Is it? Are they going to take out the grain? Or are they going to? Because the grain's supposed to be there.
Is Fujimoto still alive? Tag Fujimoto, his cinematographer.
Is it for?
Let me check.
For which?
For Silence?
Yeah, I think he might still be alive. So.
But I wonder about some of these 4K upgrades because it's the further we get away from these older releases, the more it's are they staying true to the look of the movie? And
they have yeah, that's a question that's definitely up for debate.
Yeah.
And also I think people have to realize that movies that are shot on film, especially 20, 30, 40, whatever, how many years ago, are not going to look like a modern day film in 4K.
Yeah.
They're gonna look grainy, like you said. They're it's just going to kind of extrapolate some of the issues. We went over that when we talked about the release of Legend and why there wasn't a 4K release of Legend, because they were putting that in 4K would just make the director's cut, I think they talked about, would just make the scenes look worse, would make the film look worse because the 4K would bring out a lot of those problems.
Yeah.
And that's where I think remastering and preservation and stuff like that is really important. Especially for movies the older we get. I know they've released older movies in 4K, they released Lawrence of Arabia.
I just recently watched the Willy Wonka 4K and it looks great.
Yeah, and that was when did that come out? Was that the 70s?
71.
Yeah.
So yes, good call.
So it's
that was a very important film when I was younger.
Oh yeah, I love that.
And still is.
Movie.
one of the first the best kids psychedelic film.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a trip. And yeah, you were right, Ian. Tak Fujimoto is still with us.
Yeah, so I would assume they would probably consult with him then.
I would hope so. So I
or somebody.
But
yes.
I just to me, I feel like what I got already on Blu-ray is probably good, and personally, I'm not going to be jumping on all these 4Ks like some people are. I think some of this stuff is a little redundant, but That's just me.
It's getting tougher.
The only ones I have are the ones I've been sent by Vinegar Syndrome.
Yeah.
I'll say this: it's getting tougher as a collector with the transition to a newer format. Specifically, if you're a massive Criterion collector, like many of us are, people who listen and people who collect movies and whatnot. I just bought Cronenberg's Crash, which we'll talk about later, and it's like, I'm a Criterion collector, but also the Arrow release is a better release overall. You know what I mean? I think it has more features, probably better transfers. So we'll get into all of that kind of later. But it's just like, which one do you choose?
Just think that sometimes
do you buy both?
They think that,
or are you Steven? You own all?
Yeah, I do own all. Well, I don't own the Criterion one yet, but I mean,
okay.
I do own two 4K versions of it. But it's it's one of them things where it's just, I think that they think they can just get us with the 4K label on it, and I'm just like, well, I mean, I hope people just need to look a little closer into it before they decide just to buy it because it says 4K. It's not.
Oh
sometimes
yeah, I think you need to
they're just making you spend more money on something that doesn't necessarily need to be bought again. I mean,
you got to look at the whole package. Do your due diligence. Yeah. Do your research about things.
Because these companies, as much as I love them, they got to make money. And, there are some people that have never bought this before, and it will be good for them to buy this for the first time this way, maybe. But for people that have already been in the game for a while, it's like, I don't feel the need to go back to that well again.
I mean, I still haven't bought the Criterion of Silence of the Lambs yet, which I will at some point. Yeah. I just haven't yet.
Yeah. It's a cool release. I mean,
I love the artwork on it.
I just don't see how much you can get, how much better that movie could look. I mean, it's
that movie needed a re-release really badly because there was an old, what was it, MGM release that was terrible. It was from like the late 2000s.
That's the one I have.
Yeah, I still have mine around somewhere. But I guess moving from Kino, Steven, do you want to move to Eureka now?
Yeah.
I think that was all the Kino stuff for the 4K world.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, let's go ahead over.
There was a couple other Kino announcements, but you guys can check that out on Kino Studio Classics Facebook page.
Have you guys covered the fact there's going to be a 4K restoration of Miracle Mile at some point?
I did hear about that, and that directly connects to Kino because they put out the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I would
and saved that film from obscurity, to be honest.
Yes, that's how I discovered it. I had heard about it a little bit, but it wasn't until that Blu-ray came out that I heard people really talking about it. And it's kind of an underrated hidden gem.
Yeah, I mean, I did a review of For Little White Lies when the Arrow came out, release of that. And I know Steve a little bit, the director of it. And it was also the first time the film was in widescreen, and that's a very widescreen movie. Because I know he was really angry when the DVD came out because it was like a pan and scan.
Oh God! Remember the pan and scan days?
Jesus!
Oh, awful days.
But I know he's over the moon, and there's going to be some new extras on it too.
Cool.
Oh, that's going to be really nice.
I also think his short Tarzana might be on there, which is really interesting.
I love it when
that's really cool.
With Eddie
Constantine, the shorts on there, yeah.
It's got Eddie Constantine and Timothy Carey's in it. And I hope the outtake with Timothy Carey's included, which is insane.
All right. Well, let's move on to Eureka. We got a few releases from them that we'll talk about. These are their October releases.
October and November.
One thing I should mention, it's not going to be a 4K Ultra disc.
Oh, okay.
It's just a 4K remaster.
Yeah. Well, that's usually good enough.
Either way, it's going to look better and more special features. See, that's a worthy upgrade.
Yeah, it's worth
That's
it,
what people need to pay attention when they're upgrading. Is the movie going to look better? Is there more extras? Because they'll kind of they sell you on stuff that's not exactly worthwhile.
Yeah, and especially if Tarzan is on it, which I think it is, which is really interesting.
Awesome. All right, so getting into the slate from Eureka, we'll start with their single releases. We got a film called Full Alert from 1997. And this, this is from a director we've talked about a lot lately. He's had a lot of releases out. Ringo Lam, who I think recently, Wild Search was one that they just released, which I actually just recently watched. It's actually pretty good. It was pretty. It's part of a trilogy of films, City of Fire, and
it's kind of a remake of Witness. It
is, yeah. We talked about that too.
Yes.
When we
which
got
is
the
kind of
original national.
funny
Yeah.
because, obviously everyone says, some people like to say Reservoir Dogs is a remake of City on Fire, although it's not.
No.
They're very different films.
But same director, Ringo Lam. I have not seen the movie. Have you seen this, Ian?
What, Wild Search?
Full Alert.
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay.
I've only seen Wild Search and City on Fire.
Yeah.
I have Full Contact somewhere, but I haven't watched it.
Okay. Andrew, do you know anything about this film?
No, I don't. I do not.
Well, then I guess people are going to have to take a chance on this one. But I will go through the features for everybody. I got limited edition O-card slipcase featuring new artwork from Gregory Sakai. You know me, I don't know how to pronounce names. 1080p presentation on Blu-ray from high definition transfer from the original film elements. We got the original Cantonese audio. We have an original English subtitles, or optional, I'm sorry. And then a brand new feature-length audio commentary with Asian film expert Frank DeJeng from New York Asian Film Festival. We have audio commentary by director
He also
Lam.
did the commentary for Wild Search.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So they're probably the same session, probably.
Yeah. And then we have a limited edition collector's booklet featuring new writing from David West, NEO Magazine. It's limited to 2,000 copies. And there's subject to change on the extras, which probably means there's maybe some more extras to come. So yeah, as you can see, we don't really know much about this film, but if maybe you're interested in the director Ringo Lam, maybe this one would be worth a pickup. So
I'm sure it's good. I'm sure it's a good film.
Yeah, he seems to put out some entertaining films at the least. So moving on, we'll go over to the Volume 2 of Universal's early Universal films, and they're all like silent films. It's got 3 films in this volume. We got 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, directed by Stuart Patton from 1916. We have the Caligari Stampede, directed by Herbert Blaché.
I think it's Caligari, I think, Stampede.
Okay, yeah, you're right. From 1925, and then there's What Happened to Jones, directed by William A. Sattler from 1926. So anybody familiar with any of these films?
I've seen bits of the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea film. I was like obsessed with seeing it for years, and then I saw bits of it, and it's okay. There's no kraken or squid in it, which is like why you would want to watch that film.
I'm sure one of the later versions of that is I'm sure a little bit more. I mean, they've remade that like a bunch of times.
The version is the Richard Fleischer Disney one with Kirk Douglas and James Mason.
Yeah,
that's one of the ones people know.
And hasn't Fincher been trying to remake that for years?
They were supposed to do it like a bunch of times, and
yeah.
And I think
Brad Pitt, I think, was going to be in it at one point. Channing Tatum was going to be in it at one point, and that whole thing I think fell apart. I don't know if it was creative differences or
I think
if it was
Disney
money.
If Disney owned the rights to it, then of course
they don't own the rights technically.
Okay,
because it's public domain.
It's at this point it's probably open season for anybody.
Yes, as
public domain.
Yeah. I think it was public domain back when Disney made it, even.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anything to add, Andrew? You know anything about these films?
I don't know about them, but these are feature-length films. These aren't shorts or anything like that. Usually when people go back to the 19-teens specifically, those films are typically shorter films. I think in Chaplin and Buster Keaton and all of those films. But no, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is a feature-length film that's like 2 hours long.
Yeah. Might be 3 hours long if I remember.
Yeah, I think you're right. Now that I think about it. It's like Metropolis.
No,
level long,
105, so it's not that long.
Oh, 105?
That's not bad. That's not too bad then.
Yeah, so these are
you can watch it
films.
on the Wikipedia page, actually.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, you probably could find these movies possibly on YouTube or
probably they're probably public domain prints. They probably look rough.
Terrible, but I mean, if you wanted to check them out beforehand, you could maybe.
You probably could. And I'm interested just because I love silent films.
Yeah.
Also, the budget for 20 Leagues Under the Sea was $500,000. Which would be the equivalent to 11 million in today's money.
Yeah, so
which
it's still
is
be
a lot of
pretty,
money.
which would
and
still
there's
mean it was
still
low
no
budget.
squid and this no, it was huge budget back then. It was a huge
Well,
budget
back then, but now it'd be low budget movie. It'd be
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like a
Yeah, but and they still had no squid in it.
But I'll go real quick through these features. We have limited edition O-Card slipcase, 2,000 copies. 1080p presentation on Blu-ray from restorations undertaken by Universal Pictures for 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and What Happened to Jones, and restored in 4K for the Calgary's Stampede, restored in 2K. We have 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea score by Orlando Perez Rosso. We have Calgary Stampede score by Chris Tin. And we have What Happened to Jones score by Anthony Willis. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, the new video appreciation by author-critic Kim Newman. And we have Calgary Stampede, brand new audio commentary by professor and film scholar Jason A. Ney. And then we have What Happened to Jones, new audio commentary by film historian and writer David Callett. And then there's a collector's booklet featuring new writing of all the films included in the set. And it's subject to change, so there's probably some more coming, maybe. Cool. Let's move on to the next release, which we'll do. I think Andrew said he saw these.
Yes, I did.
The Sabata trilogy here. So you take this one away.
Okay, I'll take this away. So the Sabata trilogy is a collection of 3 spaghetti westerns ranging from 1969 to 1971. 2 out of the 3 films, the first and the third, star Lee Van Cleef as the title character of Sabata. The middle film, which is Adios Sabata, stars Yul Brynner as the title character. But I was doing some research, and apparently that movie is not, or wasn't originally planned as a Sabata trilogy, as a Sabata film. They just kind of renamed it when it came to the English release or the American release. And
So the Django films, where there's 100 Django films.
Yes,
Yeah.
basically. But this one are all directed by Giancarlo Parolini, I believe. And it's Sabata, Adios Sabata, and Return of Sabata. And so it's 3 spaghetti westerns, and coincidentally, we were just talking about spaghetti westerns with the Sergio Leone movies. These are slightly after, and not quite as good, but in that same vein. You know, like a badass outlaw, not even an outlaw, just a badass cowboy, if you will. You know, really great marksman with a gun, just, you know, just being a badass action type person. And like really cool. Basically, Lee Van Cleef being the Clint Eastwood character from the Man with No Name trilogy, but he has a name. But getting into the special features for this release, there's an O-Card slipcase, a reversible sleeve featuring original poster art for each film. That's really cool. 1080p presentation on Blu-ray from high definition transfers, English and Italian audio options, optional English SDH subtitles. Sabata, brand new feature-length audio commentary by author/critic Kim Newman. Audio Sabata, brand new feature-length audio commentary by filmmaker and historian Mike Siegel. Return of Sabata, brand new feature-length audio commentary by authors C. Courtney Joyner and Henry Park. And then new video pieces on each film by Austin Fisher, author of Radical Frontiers in the Spaghetti Western Politics, Violence, and Popular Italian Cinema. And of course, there's trailers, stills gallery, and then a limited edition collector's booklet featuring new writing by Western expert Howard Hughes. Not the Howard Hughes, a different Howard Hughes, for those of you keeping track. I dug these movies. I think they're really fun, really entertaining. It does have like that usual spaghetti western flavor to it, a cool score, great like cinematography and close-ups and aesthetic. And I thought Lee Van Cleef was really good. He was really good in the role. I think the films get kind of worse as you go along. I think the first film was the better one, the best out of all 3. But I dig it. I really dug these movies. And the first film is available, at least here in the States, to watch on Amazon Prime, if you're interested in that. And the second film, coincidentally, was the toughest to find. And the third film was available on a couple of streaming services and for rental as well.
Probably Tubi.
Yeah, Tubi has everything.
I watched it. What did I watch it on? The last film I ended up watching it on was it Plexi?
Yeah,
What was it called? Plexi DVD?
No.
Like
Platts. Platts is really underrated. They got some good stuff on Platts.
Okay.
They have some good westerns and stuff on there. They've got like The Lusty Men, the Nicholas Ray film, which was on Criterion for a while. They have the Howard Hawks, The Big Sky, the Howard Hawks western. They have some good stuff. Platts is one of the more underrated, kind of odd, sort of smaller streamers. It's funny because like I actually normally use US streamers because I've got like a Fire Stick with VPN, so I've got like Criterion, everything, because the UK equivalents are just rubbish. Just really bad.
Yeah, I want to make sure to differentiate for the international audience, because what we have here is not what you have there, and vice versa.
Everyone should just
even streaming.
Just get a Fire Stick, get ExpressVPN, and you're sorted. You can pick whatever country you want. You can get Japanese Netflix if you want, or actually the South Korean one's really good. Netflix has lots of good stuff on there.
Awesome.
And that's the way to go.
Yeah, you have anything?
Yeah,
you have anything to
if you
add
really
to
want to maximize.
You have anything to add to the Sabata trilogy?
I haven't seen them, but of the Eureka now, this is one I'm looking forward to the most, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, out of all of these releases, that's the one that really kind of interested me the most.
Yeah.
But we are going to transition into the last one, which is a big release in, I would say, quantity.
Quantity, yeah.
Not sure about quality.
I don't know about quality, but...
I was saying I have no idea about quality, but in sheer quantity it is.
Yeah, Cinematic Vengeance is the name of this release. Eight kung fu films from director Joseph Koo.
Yeah, I would say they are on 4 discs, and you know how I feel about doubling up movies on discs. Not a big fan.
Not really either. And of course, I'm not familiar with this filmmaker, but you know, I did watch the first movie in this set, which is the 7 Grandmasters, and I'll be honest, I was kind of bored by it. I mean, it's like a guy who's like a kung fu master that wants to prove that he's the best in the world, I guess, because he's getting some like award or something. So he goes around and starts like fighting each master of different styles, which is like tons of different kung fu movies that you've seen.
Yeah.
But in this one, it's just there's not much extra to it that makes it interesting. He's just showing up to these guys saying, "I need to fight you," and then he fights them for like 5 minutes, and then he's like, "I guess I'm better than you." Moves on to the next guy. And it's just like kind of stale. There's not a lot of interesting flavor, and even the fight sounds are not like fun as most of the fight, like the whoosh whoosh. It's not like normal. It sounds a little bit different. It's not even the same sound. So I don't know, but it just didn't pull me in like a lot of kung fu films do. So.
You know what it is, Steven, is we just talked about the Shaw Brothers set, and that seems to be way overshadowing probably this one.
I don't know. I don't know if that's
in our mind's eye.
Maybe. I don't know. I can just say that what I saw in that movie, which based off of my research seemed to be supposed to be the best movie in the set, didn't even get me. So I don't know. Anybody got anything to add to it?
The Shaw Bros set has 5 Fingers of Death, which I've heard is amazing. So
yeah.
So there's really no.
I've seen a few. We talked about that set a few episodes ago, and we've seen a few of them movies, and that set seems exciting. There's movies in there I'm excited about.
Set, yeah, from what I saw in that set, and just doing a Shaw Brothers like kind of mini marathon, trying to get into it, those are really good and really entertaining. Like if I'm going to buy a kung fu set, it's probably going to be that set.
Yeah.
But the let's see, the movies that are in this set. Let me see if I can get a closer look, because for some reason this is not telling me the list of movies on their site.
Yeah, I tried doing that same thing myself, and it's really kind of annoying.
Well, they can read it. We can move to the next one if you want.
He's like, let's get past this because this isn't even that interesting.
Well, I was going to say, if you want to read off the special features, go ahead, and then I'll look up.
Okay, well, it's got 8 films across 4 Blu-rays.
4 discs.
Fully restored and presented in 1080 HD, limited edition hardbound case featuring newly commissioned artwork by Darren Wheely. Limited edition 60-page booklet featuring new writing on the films, including in the set by James Oliver, illustrated with archival images, imagery and materials. Limited edition set of 8 Phasmil lobby cards.
Yeah.
Disc 1 and 2 include the 7 Grandmasters, the 36 Deadly Styles, and the World of Drunken Master, and the Old Master. So...
Well, they're telling you what's on.
I guess
discs
now
1
that
and
I'm
2.
looking at it,
so
closer,
you just got your list.
there's the first 2. I was looking at it. I was looking for just a straight list of all the movies.
I know.
And they just
this is the hard
separated
way
them.
to do it, but
Disc 1 and 2 have the optional Mandarin soundtracks, optional English dub audio tracks, optional English subtitles, brand new audio commentary tracks from a variety of Hong Kong cinema experts, which means you're just going to hear a bunch of different people on an audio contract, which is kind of weird. Trailers for the movies, and then Disc 3 and 4 includes Shaolin Kung Fu, the Shaolin Kids, 18 Bronzemen, and the Return of the 18 Bronzemen. And then all the same kind of features for them movies too. So,
and the trailers are probably better than the films.
Probably. I mean, that's that happens a lot today. So it wouldn't
what's
surprise
interesting
me.
is it looks like the only major special features are audio commentaries.
Yeah, really. So
all the other stuff is just different audio tech stuff.
yeah, so I'll be personally honest. After watching one movie, it's kind of turned me off wanting to buy the set. So personally,
I'm not even going to ask for a free copy of it to review. The Shaw Brothers box set, on the other hand, yes.
Yes, I'm going to ask for that. But okay, cool. Let's move on to Arrow.
Yes,
Arrow's got some stuff coming out.
They do indeed.
Some upgrades.
They're not
some new
upgrades.
stuff.
They're mostly repackaging of old releases.
I was gonna say there's some repackaged stuff. There's, I guess you could say I don't know if some of them Fassbender films have been re-released, but
I have every single one of those discs already.
Oh yeah, well I'm sure you do. But are they all Arrow releases?
Yes.
Okay. See, then once again they repackaged something else again.
Yeah, there's actually. Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Well, let's go over them. They're releasing Deep. Yeah, they're releasing Deep Red, which of course it's going along with their trend of re-releasing Dario Argento films.
The Blu-ray here that's nice.
Steven already has the Blu-ray. Now he's going to have to upgrade, and I don't know what he's going to do with that Blu-ray set.
I was going to say when we go through if you want to go ahead and go through the features, that's the one.
I'm just gonna list them off and then go through them.
Okay.
I'll have your old copy of it.
Oh, you want what I was going to say? We'll get to it. Go ahead and list them off, and I'll get to what I was going to say about the features.
I only have the single disc one, so
yeah.
So Deep Red is getting an upgrade from Blu-ray to 4K, with of course two different covers: the original art cover and then the newly artwork cover. There is going to be a Giallo Essentials Red edition, and I think that's what Ian was talking about.
That's
where those 3 movies have already been released.
It's just like, let's throw Giallo on it, and people will buy it.
And then put it in a box. Yes. That's what they're doing.
Well, they've done that the last couple months. They did it with the Olivia
some of those Arrow Academy.
Yeah, those are really good films, by the way. Those are really good if you don't have those.
Yeah. So, and then there's a Yokai Monsters Collection limited edition, and then there's a Rainer Werner Fassbender Collection Volume 1, and then
which you can buy like every time there's like because HMV has a buy one get one free sale or whatever, £8 or whatever. Those you can buy those for like 30 quid and buy. I think you can buy every single Fassbender film they're going to release for like 70 quid or something when they're on sale. So what's the point? You get a book where that's half of the book that for the previous limited edition box set. Why? You have some new covers.
Obviously, I think that a lot of their decisions to do this is for people. Once again, for people that maybe have never owned these before. And even me personally, I like a good box set. If I don't own anything, instead of trying to buy every single movie, because typically you do save maybe a little money, but I mean, for people that already own these, it's like, well, I mean, they're just trying to resell something I already have, so it's not exciting.
The previous discs are really cheap, so there's not much point for it.
Right.
It's and also, if they're not doing any upgrades, sure, yeah.
The only thing is the booklet. That's it.
Yeah. It kind of sucks that they're like for their release slate in the same time frame. They're doing that twice.
Yeah.
I guess it's okay if you do it, but both the Giallo set and, as you said, the Fassbender set are both just putting previous releases in a box and re-releasing them. Yeah. It's not exactly technically a new release. But what is a new release is Dementor plus Jugface Blu-ray, and then another re-release is He Came from the Swamp, the William Grafe Collection Special Edition. I think this is going to be a re-release of a more deluxe edition that came out previously.
Yeah, it would just be the discs without the book.
That's probably what it is. That seems to be Arrow's MO when it comes to re-releases. So, starting from the top, let's go to Deep Red, the Dario Argento one, which is probably the most popular release of this slate. Lucky for me, I don't own Deep Red, so this is going to be kind of getting something that I missed out on before, which was the edition that Steven has that I missed out on, and I hate myself for never getting it, but luckily persistence and patience pays off.
Unless you wait to the last minute to buy this one, too.
I know. As it is, Steven already told me before the show that it's already sold out on diabolicdvd.com.
The original artwork.
It's been 2 days.
Yeah.
The original artwork version, which of course...
Didn't Sid Nash do a version of Deep Red?
I'm not aware of it. It's possible because they...
I know Deep Red had a release many years ago, an original release by somebody here. And I think it was a Blue Underground did one back in 2011.
Okay. So.
And then Arrow got a hold of it and then did another edition release only a couple of years ago. And I think, that edition that Steven has was from 2018. Yeah. So now they're getting 3 years later, we're getting another release.
The one I have is just the version with the long version of the film and most of the extras.
Yeah, it's the standard edition, I guess. Let's see. So speaking of which, so this is going to be a 2-disc set, and it's going to have the original version of the film and then an export version of the film, or I'm assuming international version, I guess. So we're having the original lossless mono Italian and English soundtracks, optional lossless 5.1 Italian soundtrack, English subtitles for the Italian soundtrack, optional English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing for the English soundtrack, a new commentary by critics Troy Haworth and Nathaniel Thompson, archival commentary by Argento expert Thomas Rostock, almost 3 hours of new interviews with members of the cast and crew, including co-writer/director Dario Argento, Maca Merrill, Gabriele Lavia, Jacopo Mariani, and Lino, that's the name here, Capoliccio, which was Argento's original choice for the role of Marcus Daly.
Oh, that's interesting.
Production manager Angelo, Iacono, composer Claudio Simonetti, and archival footage of actress Daria Nicolodi. Italian trailer, and then Arrow Video 2018 trailer, and then image galleries. So that's the heavy hitter of the two of the set. The second disc has restored original lossless mono English soundtrack, optional English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, archival introduction to the film by Claudio Simonetti of Goblin, pretty cool, Profondo Giallo, an archival visual essay by Michael McKenzie featuring an in-depth appreciation of Deep Red, its themes, and its legacy. Archival interviews with Dario Argento, Dario Nicolodi, Claudio Simonetti, and longtime Argento collaborator Luigi Cosi. And then a U.S. theatrical trailer, and it says the English audio track on this original cut has some portions of English audio missing. English audio for sections was never recorded for these scenes. As such, they are presented with Italian audio subtitled in English. That's a little kind of asterisk addendum at the end of this. So I guess whatever scenes they put back in don't have the English soundtrack for them, so they're in Italian.
Yeah, it's like 25 minutes difference, I think, between the two different cuts.
Okay.
And Luigi Cosi is the guy who did Contamination, and he runs the Profondo Russo shop in Rome, which is a shop Argento owns.
Oh, okay.
And he's the guy, if you go there, you will meet him.
Okay.
That's
it's also
cool.
like a little mini sort of Italian horror movie museum.
Yeah. Now, the one thing I was thinking about with this was that, I wonder if there's any difference in features. I mean, it does. I was kind of trying to compare them before the show, and I'm not seeing some of the features, lining up here, unless it's part of the 3 hours,
Yeah, I assume this must have been a Kim Newman thing on the first.
Yeah, I think there could be some that's missing, some features that are missing.
You think there's some missing? Oh.
From the Blu-ray.
That's been happening
to
quite a lot recently for Arrow, for re-releases.
Yeah. So,
because Vamp was the first one I noticed.
Yeah. So, I mean, it could be worth it to people to hold onto their Blu-rays, even if they're going to get the 4Ks. So, I don't know until I do a little bit more research, but I would check that out.
And we're seeing that a lot when it comes to these Blu-ray to 4K upgrades from other companies. Like if two different companies hold the rights, like we talked about Misery in I think our last episode, or was it the episode before that, where there's going to be a 4K release of Misery through Kino, but it's going to be missing two of the special features that were on the Blu-ray edition from Shout Factory / Scream Factory, because they're exclusive to that edition. So it's like if you have the old one, you may want to hold on to it if you're a completist, or else you're going to be missing something if you upgrade to a new edition. So that's another thing that's kind of problematic with licensing, it being with different people with different versions right now. And it's a really weird game right now where I guess one company can have a Blu-ray release license and the other company can have a 4K release license, and they can both have editions that are in print at the same time or roughly still available at the same time. It's very, very odd the way this is all rolling out right now. But that's something, me getting off track like I normally do.
Nah, that's on track.
Yeah, so next we have the Giallo Essentials Red Edition. And that leads me to believe, is there going to be
a blue edition?
A different colored edition?
A purple edition?
Yeah.
Yellow edition, of course. That has to be a yellow edition. Because it means yellow, yellow after all.
As we said previously, these have already been released separately that you can buy right now, or you can wait until this box comes out in, what is it, like a month or two? And
I would assume all the extras are the same. There might be a couple new things, but
I don't think
I'm looking on here and it says new, but I don't know if they were new when they were originally came out. Yeah. I think Ian would probably know better than us.
I don't have those. I only have one of those films. So
okay.
I'm not a massive Giallo fan, but I like some of them quite a bit. I like Spasmo. You guys seen that one?
Yeah.
Spasmo's great.
I think I've seen it. I've been recently getting into
part of that Lindsay Baker set.
Is it?
And that's what you're talking about?
No, that's Orgasmo.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm thinking of that. Yeah.
No, Spasmo is
I've heard
really
of that movie though.
88 films did it. That's a really wacky one.
Oh, okay.
I was just saying, I've been getting into the Giallo set, the Umberto Lenzi and Carol Baker set from Severin, and that's an interesting group of films. But going back to this Giallo set, this does have 3 films: The Possessed, The Fifth Accord, and The Pajama Girl Case, and they're all just individual releases in a box together. There are brand new 2K restorations of the film from original camera negative for The Possessed, The Fifth Chord, and The Pajama Girl Case. High definition Blu-ray presentations of each film, original lossless mono, Italian and English soundtracks, newly translated English subtitles for the Italian tracks, optional English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing for the English soundtracks, rigid box packaging with newly designed artwork by Adam Rabale in a windowed Giallo Essentials Collection slipcover. That's an interesting, elaborate design.
Now, I tell you this: some people had some issues, but you have to make sure if you care about packaging. If it doesn't say rigid box, be careful, because like the recent Sergio Martino set slipped past a lot of people because the artwork makes it look like it's going to be a rigid box set, but it's not. It's like one of them, like almost like a Kino style box.
Oh no!
Where it can be pulled out from the backside.
From the side.
That's when you keep the plastic on and you just open the thing to get the discs out.
I don't do the plastic thing. That's some people.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Just like cut off the side.
Yes, yeah. I've been doing that a lot recently.
Yeah, I want my movies to stay pristine, but I can't be the one that keeps. I just can't do that. I have to pull it out, and touch it, and.
I mean, it's not going to help when, like, during shipping if it gets dinged or anything, because those Kino sets, you hold your breath when you buy one from online anywhere because you don't know if these things get touched, the corners just crumble.
I don't know if it's as bad as Kino, but it's at least the same style.
Okay. I would say the cardboard.
What's the worst experience you guys have had with buying something online, a box set like that?
Andrew, you go ahead. I know you've had some bad experiences recently.
Yeah, I had to buy the Cary Grant. This was recently. I had to buy the Cary Grant Kino box set 3 times before I got one that wasn't destroyed. First one came destroyed, and then I, of course, sent it back to Amazon, got it back, got a new edition, a new version. It was also damaged, so I sent that back. And then I basically was like, yeah, I'm not buying this for a third time from them. So I just waited until I bought it from Kino directly. I bought it from Kino directly, came with perfect condition. No problem. Because Amazon, Steve and I talk about this for years now. Amazon just puts these things in an envelope, basically. And they just put them through the mail. Some of them are not even envelopes anymore. They just put them in like these thin paper bags. That's what they really are now.
Well, we get like a cardboard sort of box, sort of DVD size sort of box things. What normally sent over here. Well, the one thing about Amazon that's useful is if you're not that fussy about it, you can get a pretty big discount off of it if it's damaged.
It's definitely why people still go through Amazon, but it's
if you want to, you don't even have to raise hell. You can just be like,
"Can I get 25% off immediately, please?"
Yeah, like
and £5, $5 or pounds credit off my next order.
Yeah,
or sometimes just keep the item and you get a full refund.
Yeah, they don't give a damn. They're like, we got millions of these. Just keep it.
The worst company for that here is Zavvi. Zavvi are abysmal.
Dude,
I heard that bad.
Yeah.
I have another horror story quickly. I bought this last year. I bought this directly from the company too. I bought the Peter Sellers, the Pink Panther collection from Shout Factory as part of their Shout Select line. It was going out of print. And of course, knowing me, I bought it right towards the end. So I buy it from them, but it was in the middle of COVID, so their stuff was taking forever to get anywhere. It took 2 weeks for them just to ship it out, let alone to get it. So I got it, and for some reason, along the spine, it was shrink wrapped and everything, along the spine of the Blu-ray, when you took it out of the cardboard box that it came in, of the slip box, the spine was cut. Like, it was cut as if somebody had went in there and cut the spine of the cover art. So it was like, it was broken there, and the case was broken as well. And I was just like, this took forever to get here. And of course, I bought it from them. And if you buy directly from Shout, their prices are ridiculously high. Like, it was like an $85 set to get directly from them.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'll get it directly from them, be no problem, instead of Amazon, which is always a head case. No, it was the opposite. But I've never had anything that damaged where it looked like it was purposely destroyed. Or maybe it was a return or something.
What was the
I ended up having to get it replaced.
Oh, you got it replaced.
And I have 2 copies of that set now. Because they never asked for it back.
Yeah.
So whatever.
The second William Castle set I got from Zavvi, and the box was just trashed.
Oh.
And I just emailed the guy indicating, I was like, yeah, I'll send this out with your next box, your next shipment of screeners in a week or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the Marilyn Monroe box set I got from Zavvi, and every case was just shattered.
Jeez.
Oh.
So I just returned it and
I don't know
got.
what happens with them, man. Like I was telling on the last episode, I have a Blu-ray that I bought at a sale. It was like a buy one get one or something. It was an Arrow sale, and I still haven't gotten the second movie in the 2 movies I bought. It's
From
been over
Zavvi?
a year. And it's been over a year.
That's never. I think you said that on air, didn't you?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think that's ever coming.
It's never gonna.
You're
come.
never gonna see it.
Well, just tweet at them or something, and they'll probably sort it.
They say they're telling us it's a stock issue, like they don't have it. And I'm like, well, if it's out of print or something, give me my goddamn money back.
Yeah.
So that's what I want.
What film was it?
I think it's Satur is what it's called. It's like a.
Oh yeah, that's a great film. Yeah.
Yeah. I bought that with Mona Lisa from Arrow, and I still haven't gotten Satur yet. So it's been over a year. So I'm gonna keep messaging them, just give me my money back.
That's on Criterion Channel at the moment if you want to watch it.
Thank you for telling me, because I'm gonna watch it now.
Yeah,
But
nice.
I think it is. I think it's in the neo noir section they have at the moment.
Okay, cool.
They do have any.
It's very much like Seconds.
Oh, okay. I like Seconds.
Yeah. It's kind of like this. It's a sort of racial angle to this version of Seconds in a way.
Okay, cool.
And a Face and No, the Japanese film, it's quite similar to as well.
Awesome. Well,
Nice.
Well, Andrew, how about let's move on to the next one.
Oh, you don't want me to go
we
through
don't
all
need to go
this?
through all of them.
All
We
right,
got a lot more.
yeah,
We got a lot
let's
more to talk about.
That's true. We have a whole second half of the show that's gearing up. So yeah, after this we go to the Yokai Monsters collection, and this looks interesting. I like the cover art. I'll tell you that, Stephen. But I don't know much about this set.
Well, I watched the first film, 100 Monsters.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
I was looking forward to watch too, and I didn't get a chance to.
Yeah, I watched the first film, 100 Monsters, and it's actually pretty cool. They've been putting out a lot of kaiju stuff, Arrow and other.
Yes.
But this is a little bit more like the folklore.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, I know. It's a bad dream for you that you didn't get that camera set. We know.
It's a running joke throughout the show. I just keep bringing it up every so often, just to remind people.
But this is more like the folklore kind of ground, like monsters, and like in this first movie, it's like about this town that kind of gets run over by like this rich guy that wants to come in and like put up a brothel, and so these guys just basically push everybody out and say we're going to build this brothel here, and the town kind of worships and does these ritualistic stuff for the like spirits that are all in the woods around where they live. And basically when these people start trying to invade and the rituals don't get done, the monsters start kind of lashing out and fighting back. And so there's like all these different monsters, and they're all, of course, like in costumes or they're puppetry or they're really elaborate, and it's really cool to see all the cool different designs of these different, especially this like there's this one where these two guys fish in this lake that they're not supposed to fish in, and the old guy tells, of course, it's always this old guy that's like, you shouldn't fish there, and he's like, you'll be cursed. And so then like the guys fish there and they go back to the house, and suddenly like this like woman who's like helping them prepare the meal and stuff, like her neck, she turns into like a snake neck, and her neck just like protrudes out, and like it's like you see like her as a silhouette behind this like like wall, and then her neck just comes out from around the corner. She's like, it's just starts laughing at it. It's kind of creepy, actually.
You're selling this very well, actually.
And it's, so, but there's like a lot of cool creature designs, and basically they're taking revenge on the guys that are trying to come into the town. So I like the first movie in the set a lot. So I'm very interested to check out the other two films, which is
well, apparently it's a 4-film set.
I'm sorry, you're right. 4 films. Yes.
Yeah, it's a 4-film set. It's 100 Monsters, Spook Warfare / Along with Ghosts, and then The Great Yokai War.
Which is a remake with Takashi Miike.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, now you just sold me again.
Yeah,
it's like a double sell.
It's a 2005
actually,
remake.
out of all the ones coming out from Arrow, I might actually email about that one, actually. I wasn't going to email.
Really interesting.
This actually looks like the most interesting thing they've released in a while, actually.
Yeah, so this is coming with the high-definition presentation on Blu-ray of all 4 films, optional English subtitles on all 4 films, illustrated 60-page collector's book featuring new writing on the series by Stuart Galbraith IV, Raphael Coronelli, and Julian Yates. Reversible sleeves featuring original art and newly commissioned artwork by Julian Yates. Postcards featuring newly commissioned artwork for each film by Julian Yates. And then fold-out yokai guide poster illustrated by Julian Yates. That's pretty cool. So disc 1 has 100 monsters, like we just said. Original uncompressed Japanese mono audio. Hiding in Plain Sight, a brand new documentary giving a primer on yokai for Western audiences, featuring interviews with experts Matt Alt, Zach Davison, Kim Newman, Linda E. Rucker, and Hiroko Yoda. Theatrical trailer, US re-release trailer, and then image gallery. That looks pretty cool. And disc 2 has Spook Warfare and Along with Ghosts, brand new 4K restorations of Spook Warfare by Kadokawa Pictures, original uncompressed Japanese audio for both films, theatrical trailers for both films, US re-release trailers for both films, and then image galleries for both films. Not much there, but you get 2 movies. And then the disc 3 is The Great Yokai War, which has a DTS HD Master 5.1 original Japanese and dubbed English audio, brand new audio commentary by Japanese cinema expert Tom Mez, archive interview with cast and crew including Takashi Miike, short drama of yokai, 2 shorts detailing the further adventures of yokai, another story of Kawataro, 2 shorts featuring the continuing story of Kappa character in the film, World Yokai Conference, a publicity event where Miike speaks about the film, promotional events, video of the press conference to announce the start and completion of filming, as well as the premiere in Tokyo. And then there's a documentary on the film's young star, Ryunosuke Kamiki, and his experience making the film, theatrical trailer, and image gallery. Yeah, that's a pretty loaded disc on disc 3. I'm really liking that. And that is Yokai Monsters Collection Limited Edition.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to get this
I'm digging
one.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we move on to Rainer Werner Fassbinder Collection Volume 1, which we've already kind of delved into a little bit. Steve and I we talked before the show, where a lot of these films are widely available now. I think Ian also kind of commented on that as well. In the UK, apparently Arrow's re-released these already.
Oh, this is a US and UK one.
Oh, okay.
I mean, is this box set a US one as well?
I think this may be UK only because Criterion has the rights to a lot of these films here. I think all of them.
Yeah.
Because I have most of these in... There's an Eclipse set from Criterion, early Fassbender films, and it has like 5 films on it.
Yeah, it has much. And they did Merchant of All Seasons as well.
Yes. And they released, we were just talking before the show, they released so much Fassbender stuff here. I wouldn't be surprised if they release a box set at some point because I think they own all of his stuff here.
They own most
Criterion.
of it. They own most of it. They don't have Inner Year of 13 Moons, the one I mentioned, which is his best film, actually, which is about his... I guess I don't know if you would say the person's trans or not, but it's about basically her. I guess let's say her boyfriend makes her have a sex change because he won't love a man, and it does not go well. Let's just say that. And it
sounds complicated. Directly from what you just said.
And it's a beautiful film. It's got a really good soundtrack. And Artificial Eye did a DVD over here. I think, is it Fantoma, that DVD company in the US?
I'm not familiar with
maybe.
it.
The early 2000s company, they did a DVD release. And that's the one I would hope someone would do on Blu-ray, maybe Criterion or someone.
Okay.
That would be really nice.
There's a really graphic scene in a slaughterhouse as well.
Oh, of course. Well, I was just going to say, for those of you who don't know who Rainer Werner Fassbinder was, incredibly unique individual, very controversial director, filmmaker for his time, really upset a lot of people when he was around. He was never one to not push the envelope in so many regards. And I was just telling Stephen before the show, sadly, he did pass away very young at age 37 from, I think it was a drug overdose.
Yeah,
I think it was a combination of cocaine and pills.
Yeah,
I believe it was.
And booze.
Yeah. So he did a lot of work from 1969 to 1983.
In 13 years.
A decade. Yeah.
Insane. And that includes like 3 TV shows.
Yeah.
Yes. But he was hated and loved at the same time. He was one of those filmmakers just really, his work, like his legacy now is more favorable than probably when he was alive. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's just like people are studying him now in film schools and stuff, where at the time like critics hated him.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. But this is...
And the films are very hit and miss.
Yeah, I think with that, it seems to be the way with any filmmaker. His early stuff is very different. I've only seen his early stuff. I've only seen Love is Colder Than Death, Castelmacher, which is in this set, and I've seen Ali Fair Eats the Soul
which is kind of like the first really great one.
Yeah, that's the one where he started. It's Ali talked about remakes earlier, where he remade All That Heaven Allows, Douglas Sirk film.
It's not quite
a remake. It's inspired by.
Yeah. And then of course there's Far From Heaven, the Todd Haynes film, which is kind of a combo of both of those.
Yes, it is. Todd Haynes takes a lot from Douglas Sirk as well,
and Fassbender, the two very big influences on him.
They really did. But getting it, this is going to be a 4-disc set, it looks like. And we're getting high-definition digital transfers of all films prepared by Rainer Werner Fassbender Foundation. They're all going to be presented on Blu-ray in 1080p. I don't know why they keep saying that. They better be 1080p by this point. Original uncompressed PCM Mono 1.0 sound for all films. So we're getting that original sound. Optional English subtitles for all films. And then exclusive 140-page collector's booklet containing archive articles and interviews and new writing by Tony Raines, David Jenkins, Nicole Bernays, Fuang Li, I think that's what it says. Yeah, and then Carmen Gray and Sean Hogan. And then we move to disc 1.
So it's basically the booklet for the big box set they did with a couple new essays from a couple critics.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it looks like. So disc 1 has the early works, Love is Colder Than Death and Castelmacher, 2 early short films by Rainer Werner Fassbender from 1966, The Little Chaos and The City Tramp, interview with actor Yuli Lomel on Love is Colder Than Death, which I still think is one of the best titles of a movie I've ever heard. End of the Commune, ? Joachim von Magershausen's 1970 documentary portrait of Fassbender and his troupe, including rare footage of his actors in rehearsing Love is Colder Than Death. Hold on. I'm losing my place here. Yeah, rehearsing. And Love is Colder Than Death, the premiere at the 1969 Berlin Film Festival. So you get footage of both of those things. And then the original theatrical trailer for Castelmacher. And then you get into his early work is very avant-garde, like his late 60s, early 70s work up until like The Merchant of Four Seasons is very, very avant-garde.
There's a very heavy Godard influence on the early ones.
Yes, very, very French New Wavy,
but not
minimalistic,
but not fun. Like the Godard films.
No, they're not. They're a chore to get through. I was watching Castelmacher last night, and it's like this movie's long. It feels long. But disc 2 is The Merchant of Four Seasons and Beware of a Holy Whore.
Beware of a Holy Whore is great. That's a great one.
Yeah. I have Merchant of Four Seasons on Blu-ray from Criterion. I haven't watched it yet. I really want to watch it.
Beware of a Holy Whore is like kind of his 8.5.
Oh, okay.
It's all like they're making a film and they're all like this hotel and stuff happens and they order a lot of Cuba Libres.
That makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. Audio commentary on The Merchant of Four Seasons by critics Alexander Heller Nicholas and Christian McRae. Audio commentary on Beware of a Holy Whore by Adrian Martin. Interview with actor Lou Castel on Beware of a Holy Whore. Beware of a Holy Whore theatrical trailer. I didn't think I would say the word whore this many times today, but
it happens.
That's what
sometimes.
happens.
Yeah, and that's exactly the same extras as the one. I'm just looking at the DVD compare site.
Okay. So next we have The Bitter Tears of Petra von Kant, which also has a Criterion release here, and as you said, has a release there as well. And there's a commentary by filmmaker and lecturer Diane Charleson. Life Stories, a conversation with R.W. Fassbender, a 50-minute interview with the director conducted for German television in 1978. Role Play, Women on Fassbender, a 1992 documentary containing interviews with 4 of the director's leading ladies, Margaret Karstensen, Irma Herman, Hannah Shigula, and Rosel Zek.
Yeah.
And then lastly here is Tenderness of the Wolves, on disc for audio commentary.
He did not direct.
Oh, he did not direct.
He stars in it. He appears in it.
Oh. Because I was watching, Castle
It's the guy who did Bogeyman's first film.
Oh, okay.
It's actually a really good film, Ted and the Wolves. Like the guy who went on became like a hack. There's been rumors that Fassbender's directed this, but it's been disproven. What
is interesting here is that the first special feature is an audio commentary by director Uli Lommel, moderated by Yui Huber. So there you go. And there's an introduction by Uli Lommel, and the Tender Wolf, a newly filmed interview with Lommel. A lot of Lommel on here. Photographing Fritz, a newly filmed interview with director of photography Jürgen Jürgs. Harmon's Victim talks, a newly filmed interview with actor Rainer Will. An appreciation by Stephen Thrower, the author of Nightmare USA and Murderous Passions, The Delirious Cinema of Jesus Franco, Stiller's Gallery, theatrical trailer. So that is a lot of Fassbender in this set. For those of you over here, this is an upgrade for some of his earlier stuff, and some stuff that I don't think has releases here yet. So
I think all of them except for Tenants of the Wolves have a Criterion release of some kind.
Yeah. And what is interesting is I was looking at this last night and trying to compare the Eclipse set. The Eclipse set here, although it's on DVD and it's an Eclipse set, has more films than this early set has. So it's kind of an incomplete early set from Rainer Werner Fassbender, from them.
Yeah, the second one will be Fox and His Friends, Ali Fear Eats the Soul, Marriage of Maria Braun, and I think there's one...
Yeah, we'll get all of the...
Yeah, those...
Like World on a Wire...
No, World on a Wire was second site.
Oh, okay.
It would just be like I will for FV Breeze. I think those are the four that were not included.
Yeah, because I know the Eclipse set has, I think it has.
It's the first five in American Soldier.
Yeah, it has Gods of the Plague, which isn't on here. It has the American Soldier, which isn't on here.
American Soldier is great. If no one's seen that, that's a good one. Amazing Last Shot.
Oh, okay. I have to make my way through that set. I've only seen, like I said, two of them. So,
and they're all quite short. Except the only one of those that's long is Bitter Tears of Petra von whatever, which is an interesting film. It's a bit of a chore to get through, but it's a good film.
And for those of you interested, there is a whole collection of Rainer Werner Fassbender's films on the Criterion Channel streaming service, where I think they have all of his stuff that at least Criterion has.
Yeah, I don't think his Western Whitey's on there, sadly.
Okay.
And I don't think any Year of 13 Moons is either.
All right.
Right on.
Well, we're done with our announcement slates, and now we're getting into the second half.
There were two more, Stephen, but I guess you could skip them.
Were there?
Dementor plus Jugface.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about them.
And then there was that re-release of The Swamp, which I guess we don't really have to go over because that's a re-release. Yeah, so quickly, I won't go through the whole thing. Dementor / Swamp is a 2-movie release on 2 different discs. And apparently the Jugface, also known as The Pit, is limited edition exclusive. So I guess you can only get it through this set here. There are quite a few special features, but I don't really feel we need to go over this right now.
Is it a new or old film?
Oh, the Dementor?
Yeah.
It's a newer film.
I'm not sure. I think it's a newer film.
I think it came out in 2009.
Oh, it's 2009. Okay.
Roughly, yeah. I think, I'm pretty sure.
My rule generally is if it's a newer film released by Arrow, it's probably not good.
What's interesting is
I did have a screen of Dinner in America, and I'm looking forward to that, however.
Yeah, when that got announced, I was thrilled because I've heard about it, and there's been nothing. There was a small theatrical release, and that was it. There's been nothing streaming wise, nothing DVD or Blu-ray wise, nothing here.
I think
at least
you can rent it digitally. I think
I've tried finding it. I couldn't find it anywhere.
Do you use the site Just Watch?
No, yes, I do.
Yeah, Just
Yes, I
Watch
do.
is the best for that.
I should probably check up again. But I mean, if the Arrow release is coming out, but that Dementor film we were just talking about came out in 2019.
19. So I had one number off.
It's a horror film, obviously, with that type of title.
Probably not very good.
It's got, the packaging is cool, I'll tell you that. But yeah, we don't have to go over it, Steven.
Yeah, I'm good.
We could just go. We're going to be talking about horror in a second anyway.
I mean, after having to suffer through the stylist, I think I'm not going to bother with many.
Yeah, I wasn't interested in the stylist either. So
that whole Shane Carruth film he starred in, The Dead Center, that was god-awful.
So that is the end of part 1 of Chasing Labels, episode 14. We decided to cut this in half because it does run pretty long. So if you go back into your podcast player, just look for episode 14, part 2, where we discuss the filmography of David Cronenberg. Thank you and enjoy.